Jesus, dude, the dining hall, the to-go boxes that they started giving out are so tiny. I don't know like what they did.
Let me
Hold
see.
on.
Yeah.
So like they're like this
What
small,
the fuck?
like this, and they used to be like this.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to put anything in this?
Dude, then what the fuck?
This is so like, what am I supposed to do
I
about
don't,
that?
I don't know why they got. I like the green ones they
Yeah,
used
the
to
green
have.
ones are really good. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, ASU's up 7 against Utah.
Damn, dude, Arizona lost. Gonzaga's gonna lose.
Yeah, ranked teams. Not a good day for them. Well, let me get the link. Tweet it out. Dude, college basketball is getting very interesting.
Yeah,
March
it
Madness is
is.
coming up much quicker than
I
I
know it's
thought.
literally almost March. Like, damn.
Yeah. Okay. Let me retweet it. Okay. You just ready to start? Let's get right
Yeah,
into it.
yeah,
All right. This was a weird game. It's just not like the most enjoyable game that I have watched of the Nuggets. Just, God, like it was. I mean, they started off really well.
yeah.
Coincidentally, the
Start off with a
bench,
bang.
yeah, the bench really kind of saved the game. Boogie 9-0 in the DeMarcus Cousins era.
Mm-hmm. And he was a
And he
big part in the win today.
huge. I think this was probably his best game
Yeah.
that he had. He was really. Let me see what exactly his stats were. They probably didn't jump out that much, but the bench in general was really solid. They were all plus minus.
Mm-hmm.
They're all positive plus minus, and the entire bench or the entire starting lineup was negative.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I was doing some like research and stuff. This is the first game that the Nuggets have won in which Jokic is a negative,
wow,
um, which is
wow.
crazy to like think about. Like they haven't won a game this year when Jokic is a negative up
Mm-hmm.
until tonight. Um, and yeah, the bench definitely bailed Jokic, bailed the starters out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was yeah. Monte Morris. He once again. I mean, he's in the title of the video for a reason. He hit a three, gave Denver a lead with like about 30 seconds
Mm-hmm.
left, 25 seconds left. His second game winner this season.
Yeah,
He's been so solid. He's 5 threes today, 5 of 6, 8 of 13 from the field, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Like he's been really solid. And he's been great in the 2 games post All-Star break against the Kings. Obviously, he was great in the game right before the All-Star break. So
mm-hmm.
very good for him. Jokic had a triple double, but it was like one of the worst triple doubles I've seen.
I think he airballed three threes.
Yeah, he did not. He
Um,
was 0 for 5 from downtown, 6 for 16
I know.
overall, which isn't great. And it was weird. I mean, he just didn't have like any aggression
Yeah.
trying to score the ball. He was really passive the whole night. And it worked in the fourth quarter because he was like finding open cutters and they were scoring. Like he had Gordon, I think, for one. He hit Monte a few times on cuts. Their chemistry has really started to come together. I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed over the past few weeks. They've kind of started to replicate the Jokic Murray 2-man game where
Yeah.
Murray will
Yeah.
screen for
Sure.
Jokic. Monte's been starting to do that a lot more. It's opened up a lot of easy buckets for him. But yeah, he just like he only had 2 turnovers. Denver as a team had 12. It felt like a
Felt like a
lot
lot
more
more,
than that.
but
Um,
I think they stopped turning the ball over like in the fourth quarter, I think.
yeah, and I mean the Kings also felt like they had a lot of turnovers. They only had 12
Yeah.
as well. Um, yeah, this was just a weird game.
A lot
Uh,
of like weird ref stuff. I mean, the Nuggets had 3 technical fouls.
I
It's
don't
just,
think any of them were justified.
dude, every single Tony Brothers game like feels like this. It's just an
Something
ugly,
weird happens.
just ugly, like it just dictates the whole game. These refs, like the
Yeah,
Nuggets are trying to get calls, and then they get pissed off, and then the Kings get pissed off, and it's like every single Tony Brothers game is just a grind through the
yeah.
whole game.
I don't understand why the NBA still allows him to officiate Nuggets games because like
Yeah.
he just it's consistently he always just screws the
Hmm.
Nuggets over. And luckily, thank God, he
It
made the right
sounds so
call.
biased, but it literally is. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
he's
it
been
sounds
doing that
biased.
since like 2016,
He's been doing it
17.
ever since Jokic got into the league.
Yeah.
I don't know what he has against him, but I mean, he threw him out of the game earlier in the season against Washington, I believe. I remember he had a horrible stretch in 2018, 2019. That season was the worst
Yeah.
of
He
it.
threw him. I remember the Pacers game, he got thrown out.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like he's been ejected like 3 times by brothers, maybe.
yeah. I think it may have there. I think there was a Wizards game that season too where he got ejected.
Mm.
It was like him and Bobby Portis got into like something. I remember something about Bobby Portis.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that is they're he I don't know what he has against the Nuggets, but hopefully, I mean, he made the right call at the end, thankfully. But yeah, Aaron Gordon, talk about him. He had a really solid game, 23 points, 9 rebounds. He had 3 threes, which was
Hmm.
huge. If you're able to get multiple threes from Aaron Gordon, I feel like that's a win.
Yeah.
And they were all like, I think there were a couple that were like, okay, what are you doing? Like that's a bad shot. But most of them were just in rhythm, catch and shoot.
Hmm.
And when he's doing that, I feel like he can make most of his threes. So it was good to see that. It was good to see him, kind of get back to the post as well. Jeff Green, I don't
Jeff
know.
Green has been rough. Like
Yeah, yeah,
past maybe 10, 15 games.
yeah. It's not. I don't even think it's his minutes because he only played 20 minutes today. He hasn't been getting a lot of minutes lately. I don't know what it is.
But he kind of like plays himself out of the minutes. Like if he would just
Yeah,
play better.
yeah.
I
No,
mean,
it's
he's just bricking these. It's just so frustrating. Like thinking that could be like Michael Porter because he gets so many open looks in the
yeah.
corner,
And
he
it's just
bricks
it
them
makes no
all.
sense. He shot 41% from
I
three
know,
last
right?
season. He's at 32% this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's so odd how that shooting variance is. And I feel like that happens with every single Nuggets player. Any player who comes to the Nuggets just automatically gets worse at shooting. Except Bryn Forbes. Bryn Forbes has been
yeah.
good. Today was a bad game for him, but I mean he was a game high plus 10, which is odd.
Mm-hmm.
But DeMarcus Cousins, I want to focus on him. He just like I don't even know how to explain it. He just like it's not like his energy because the Nuggets have like energy players. Like Facu is a pure energy player.
Yeah.
His only energy. Bones is definitely an energy guy. But like he's just like presence inside is so no. And Sabonis, he didn't have nearly as good of a game as he did last time.
I know.
And I feel like a lot of that has to be because he was guarded by Boogie instead of Jermichael Green. So like I really like. I mean, they signed him to the full-time contract yesterday, but I definitely wouldn't mind bringing him back for another season.
Yeah.
If you can't find a better option, which I probably don't think you will, honestly.
We'll see how he closes the season out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
he's been really, really solid. And I think this bench that the Nuggets have that they've kind of settled into, I think it can be pretty good once Jamal Murray comes back, if he comes back at all. I'll talk about that a little bit later. I have some thoughts on that. But if Jamal Murray is able to come back and kind of be, who we think he can be, this bench unit with Monte running it, and you kind of switch Monte out for Bones maybe, or maybe Monte out for Forbes, one of those two guys probably. Because I think Rivers has played too well.
Yeah,
lately
played well.
to say that you're going to take him out of the rotation, but you put him in there to kind of get some more of like a stable presence on the ball, and you kind of stagger it. Maybe even if Jeff Green comes down, you move Jermichael Green up. I feel like him and Monte play pretty well together. So I think this can be a very, very good bench. It's just as long as Jamal Murray is able to be fully healthy. But yeah, and about I guess, do you have any thoughts on the bench?
No, I mean, it's just, I think there's a good, like now with Cousins, there's a good mixture of size, which he didn't have. You got size, you got shooting, you got ball handling. Good defenders too. JaMychal, Rivers, Cousins is pretty good on defense too. Um,
Mhm.
so I mean, yeah, this bench could be something good if, especially if Monte starts running it. Um, yeah, what do you have on Jamal?
Yeah, so it came out earlier today that Markel Fultz, he's going to be back on Monday. And Markel Fultz, he tore his ACL last January.
Yeah,
And he's going to be back basically in March, which is a 13-ish month turnaround. Um, and I feel like that's kind of normal because Thomas Bryant, he tore his ACL in like January, February of 2020, and he didn't come back until like basically this season. And I know the Wizards were not the greatest team, so they didn't want to rush him back at all. But like he didn't come back until pretty late. Maybe that's just the fact that that's the only ACL news coming out, and that's like it's like pessimistic to think that. But I feel
yeah,
like there could be a good shot that Jamal doesn't come back this season, which would really really suck.
mm-hmm.
But like I feel like that we Nuggets fans should be not preparing for that, but they should start to like familiarize themselves with the idea that he might not be back this season. Because like,
Yeah. How long was like Levine out for?
oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I remember he tore his ACL and he didn't come back until um like the pretty much the very end of the season.
Yeah.
Um, he didn't play. He only played the last like 20, 30 games. Um, but yeah, it's I think same with DeJounte Murray. He probably came back pretty late in the year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like that's just my concern. Um, that obviously, like I think just looking at where he is in his recovery, he's just like I think he's just started to do 2-on-2, and he's still not really doing a lot of contact,
Yeah.
and that is it's not concerning because I mean he's on pace like that. This is what his recovery should be, but it's just like he's not. He hasn't like ramped up a significant amount yet. He hasn't.
Right. I don't think he's doing like any like lateral stuff
Yeah,
or
he's doing like very little. Like he's cutting, but he's not like
yeah, it's
cutting.
little. It's very little like burst and
Yeah,
stuff.
he's,
It's a
he's
lot
not
of
doing anything at game speed yet.
yeah, yeah,
Which like I said, it shouldn't be concerning. Like it shouldn't be like, oh, is he going to be the same player? Like he's going to be fine. It's just a question of whether or not he's going to be ready come playoff time.
mm-hmm.
So I was talking about this with people when I was watching the game. Like if Jamal isn't healthy by playoff time, do you even bring him back like in the playoffs? Like
Like if he gets healthy, like after a series or something.
yeah, like not even after, but like if he's not ready at the end of the regular season,
Oh, like do
like
you
two or
even
three games
try?
in, he's cleared. Do you bring him in and like kind of mess up a playoff rotation
Yeah.
for Jamal Murray? And I'm like,
I
you
mean, you got to
could
you got to see how those first couple games go.
exactly, yeah. Like I feel like if Jamal Murray is fully healthy, you have to. I think you have to take the couple games of rust because I think that'll be better than having to play. Because like if Jamal Murray doesn't come back, you're gonna have to be playing Bones Highland
Mm-hmm.
and Bryn Forbes pretty heavy minutes. So I don't really like that in a
Yeah.
playoff series. I feel like both of those guys are more of like kind of you play them in bursts, kind of how we played Malik Beasley in the playoffs at his
Mm-hmm.
first year um, in 2019. Like you just play him in like 5-6 minute stretches, then you get him out. But I feel like I mean if he's the backup point guard, you're gonna have to play him a decent amount. And
Yeah.
Forbes is too good of a shooter to not play him. So that's just um, my concern. But like obviously, there's still like a month and a bit until the playoffs come around. So there's 100% still a chance he can get there. Um, as long as
Yeah.
he's like,
It,
there's still no timetable for him to come back this late,
right.
which is that's my concern.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And just, I mean, yeah, it would be pretty early, I guess, if Murray does end up coming back before the playoffs. Just looking at other players. Hopefully Porter's back. Like I don't know about him either, really.
Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird. And we
I
talked
can't
about
tell
this
who's like further along.
exactly. Yeah, like MPJ when he had his first back surgery in college, he was back in time for March Madness. He was fully like he was playing in even in the
Yeah,
SEC tournament. He was playing. He played a couple games before the SEC tournament, and then he played. Um, and I think and he played in their first game. I think they
right.
lost, but he played in the tournament. So like, I think if he is like if it's this, I know it's the same surgery and it's on the same part. He should be ready by playoffs. Uh, and the fact that we didn't use the disabled player exception yet, like we just signed Boogie. We traded away 2 salaries and we signed Boogie. So like that is not enough for the disabled player exception. So like I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. So
Just getting one of them back would be
it'd be huge.
really
It'd be
nice.
so huge.
It would kind of be interesting to just see just Jokic and this team in the playoffs. See what happens.
To be fair, just Jokic and this team was the Sun series because MPJ was.
I know. We would get but like if Jokic could win a series, I mean, I guess he did that last year.
Yeah.
Um,
If he wins a series without both of them, he's the greatest player of all time. Like no other player in NBA history, and I'm dead serious about that. There's no player in NBA history who can win without the 2 best stars, like the entire year.
Probably not.
Because he's played so many heavy minutes this season. He's gonna have to play heavy minutes in the playoffs. And especially with how good the West is right now, if he is able to win a playoff series with Jeff Green in the starting lineup, that's like insane.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be ridiculous. Yeah. It would just suck. It would just suck if Jamal was out for 2 playoff series, 2 playoff runs in a row after what he did the last time he was in the postseason. Like, I want to see that again. I don't think we'll see it this season. Like, I don't think we'll see that. We're not going to see that Jamal this season because I think when you look at recovery, the Clay is the only guy who I can look at because Clay is, because he's the biggest star coming off an injury right now. But he came off an ACL and an Achilles, so
but I
his
mean,
is
he's still not like at all what he is.
Yeah, he's
But
not.
I mean, he came off 2 big injuries in 2 years.
The Warriors played a game yet? No, yeah, they played Portland.
Yeah.
Did he do anything? Went 6 of 11, 4 of 7 from 3. Maybe he's somewhat. If he is able to come back, I feel confident that Jamal is able to come back. And I think you look at Zach LaVine and DeJounte Murray. I mean, Zach LaVine's a 2-time All-Star now. DeJounte Murray was an All-Star this season. They're 2 guys who've come off of major ACL injuries. And they're guys who definitely rely on their athleticism to be good.
Yeah.
And they're come back and they're better after it. So that gives me hope. It's just in terms of Jamal's recovery and his timeline, the fact that we don't have a timeline yet, and we're approaching 11 months post-surgery, that's just a little concerning. And just concerning in terms of if he's going to be back this season. So, yeah, that's just my spiel. I've been thinking about all day, ever since I saw Markelle back and it said he was gone 13 months. And I'm like,
Yeah.
And that also could be because the Magic stink.
I know.
There's absolutely no rush to get him back. They have a crowded young guard rotation. They want those guys to get as many reps as possible. So, that's also probably why. And, that's 100%. Oh, St. Mary's beat Gonzaga.
I know.
All top 6 ranked teams lose on a single day for the first time ever. Wow. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
That really is. Dude, March Madness is going to be fire then. Yeah, Arizona lost. Kansas lost.
Oh, ASU won, baby. Let's go.
How good is Utah?
Oh, they're worse than us.
Probably not. Are they really? Oh, my God.
I thought Utah was good.
Seem like they're usually just solid.
Yeah. I mean, ASU is on a decent win streak now.
I know they've been keeping it close with other teams too.
Yeah.
Oh, Kansas. Oh yeah, Purdue lost. That I couldn't. Why I was sleeping, but that was a good game. That Purdue Michigan State game.
Oh, Avalanche are up now. Cool. They're playing Vegas. I hate Vegas so
Vegas
much.
seems like they own the Avs.
They just are so annoying. They're I don't know hockey, so don't if any hockey person's watching this, don't come after me. But Vegas seems like a very dirty team to me. So last time we played Vegas, we won. But I don't know. It's just weird.
Let's look around the rest of the NBA, I guess.
Yeah.
Before we get off, this Grizzlies Bulls game was really good.
Uh-huh.
I think the Bulls had like a 14-0 run going in the fourth quarter.
They made it really, really close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I do want to talk. Yeah, I mean, Memphis was up 16. They're up 101-85 with 9 minutes left in the fourth. And then Chicago made it 101-99. So yeah, 14-0 run. And then it was pretty close after that. But I in terms of the Bulls, we talked about them in the last episode, but the Bulls, they cannot be good teams.
This is yeah, and this is what kind of happens when you purely rely on shot making, and when you have Vucevic who bricks every shot. I've seen him take this year. He just bricks it.
Yeah,
clanks off the rim. Like
he's not been good this season.
So then you got to rely on DeMar, and then when DeMar has a tough game like this where he can't get his shot to fall, it's going to be tough to win games. And,
yeah, especially because Levine is. He's still so clearly injured. He had 28, but 9 of 19, which isn't very efficient, and you can just tell he's not as explosive still. But until Lonzo gets back, he kind of has to play. Yeah. And once Lonzo gets back, he can start to take a little bit of a rest and start taking games off.
It really is just all they had 17 assists tonight. That's what I just think is concerning for the playoffs. Yeah. They had 16 assists last game. They just don't. There's no ball.
They don't move the ball. They just don't. Yeah. And Memphis, they had 23.
Yeah, I know, and that's
Steven Adams had 21 rebounds. Holy cow! Yeah. But yeah, that's their issue. They do not move the ball at all. They had 5 assists from their bench total, and they're all from Kobe White.
I know.
So yeah, the reason why is they don't have a point guard on the roster without Lonzo or Caruso.
Yeah, true.
And both of them are injured. So obviously when they come back, we'll get a much better gauge in this team. But even when Lonzo and Caruso were healthy, this team still wasn't beating good teams.
Right.
They just weren't. And it's really, really odd. If you go back to the teams that they played, they beat the Hawks barely, but the Hawks aren't. They're a 10 seed. They're not a good team.
This schedule, dude. This last kind of week, 2 weeks has been so easy for them.
For Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kings, Spurs, Thunder.
Yeah. And the thing, they're really close with the good teams. Look at this game, they were really close. They were close.
Seems like they're close in every game.
Yeah. But they lose to Philadelphia at home. They lose to the Suns at home. And those are 2 really, really good teams, but they lose to both of those teams. You go back into January. They beat the Cavs. That's good. But they lost to the Grizzlies again. They lost to the Celtics, Bucks. Lost to the Warriors. They lose to the Nets. Lose to the Mavericks. So, they beat up on bad teams, which is good. They're winning the games they're supposed to.
You're supposed to, yeah.
But they don't win the games against good teams. The only games that they've won against, good teams, they beat the Cavs. They beat the Cavs, and they beat the Nuggets 2 times. But one of those games, Jokic wasn't playing. And the other game, I don't even remember. It was just everyone on the Nuggets sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Literally everyone sucked. The bench was horrible.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, the bench had. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. That might be the worst bench.
Oh my god.
Holy cow.
But I need to look at this then. Is this the December 6th game?
Yeah. The entire starting lineup in this game for Denver was in double digits, and nobody on the bench had more than 3 points. And Vlatko was one of them, and he played 1 minute.
Oh my dude, this bench is rough, man. Just the names, Campazzo is playing. This is when Jermichael Green couldn't hit a shot.
Oh my god, that's why they lost. Jokic has 15 assists in this game. Jesus.
Only shot 6 for 17.
Yeah. But like in this game, Caruso wasn't playing, but Lonzo Ball was, and Lonzo Ball, Levine was playing healthy. He was still healthy.
DeRozan wasn't playing this game.
Yeah, DeRozan didn't play in this game. You look at that; they have 25 assists. Io has 8 assists. Levine has 8 assists.
That says something.
Mm-hmm. Ball got 4 assists. Not that Levine's a ball hog, but he doesn't. I mean, he's an ISO player. That's who he is. Like that's just who he is. So you kind of just need some other guys who move the ball, alongside them. But yeah, like that's their issue against good teams. They don't move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't.
This is, dude, the Grizzlies down the stretch, like, this is another thing I think is concerning for the Grizzlies. I mean, I know Ja scored 46, which is insane, but it is just constant screen and Ja weaving his way into the lane, and that he doesn't pass the ball.
Yeah.
He doesn't step back and shoot. All it is just him attacking.
Yeah, getting to the lane.
And hoping he gets fouled or hoping he hits some crazy acrobatic shot, which when it's clutch time and the defense plays much tougher and every single play is easily telegraphed, it gets hard. And he was missing a lot of shots.
Late in the game he missed.
That's what led to the Bulls 14-0 run. He was just – it's the same stuff over and over and over again. And I just think in the playoffs, like when teams absolutely know what's coming, it can be rough. But I mean, he's just he is like incredible finishing and drawing fouls. So, I mean, he can win you games like when he had that 40 piece in Utah. Like he can do that. But if he is missing those shots in the clutch, could get rough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah. No, Memphis is a team that, and especially in games when Jaren Jackson has 8 points on 4 of 12. Desmond Bane goes 4 of 18 and 1 of 7 from 3.
Yeah, Bane was bad.
And your bench doesn't really have anybody who pops out. I mean, Tyus Jones had a good game, 11 points and 4 assists, but like nobody else really came along. It was just Ja. So if there's a game where he's not going and your number twos are also incredibly inconsistent, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and normally like last year when that happened, when Ja was inconsistent, like Dylan Brooks was always the guy to step up. But I don't know what is going on with Dylan Brooks.
What even is his injury?
It's like I think it's a foot thing, but I don't know. Try and look it up, but
when Taylor Jenkins is expecting Dylan Brooks to return,
he could return to the lineup in early March. It's an ankle. He's been out like almost the entire season.
I know, so I'm thinking for an ankle, really.
Yeah, last game he played was January 8th. But he was out before that too. I feel like for a bit. Yeah, his first game he didn't play in October at all, so he missed like the first month of the season. He started playing November 10th, and then he got injured January 8th, and he missed a few games here and there in between. So
yeah.
Whenever he comes back, I think you'll definitely get a better gauge on this team, but that's definitely an issue with them as well. Celtics won again. Yeah,
that was a super early game.
Yeah, I woke up after it finished.
Yes. The Nets beat the Bucks. I was watching the end of this game. Kyrie had a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Drummond has been good.
Yeah, I honestly love the addition of Drummond with them. Yeah. Like, it's good that he was a plus 20. 17 points, 12 rebounds.
Oh, yeah. Bobby Portis hit 8 threes.
Yeah, I saw that. But, yeah, like Andre Drummond, I think, is huge for them because they didn't have as big at all. Like, they did not – like, LaMarcus Aldridge was their only pick man. So they get some sort of presence. I know Drummond isn't anything like crazy. He's not a elite rim protector. He's not a guy who's going to, take over games. But, I mean, 17 and 12, Like he can
I mean, he's
give you
just a
like
solid
he can
big
give you
body.
15 and 10 with KD
Yeah,
and Simmons
yeah.
out. He can 100% give you 15 and 10. And he's just a size that they didn't have. So that's huge for them. Uh, I really like that. I really like that fit with Brooklyn.
These are the kind of games too where like you can't tell me Giannis is the best player in the league. Like when he first of all, I mean he did have a crazy stat line. I mean 16 free throws, and that's really what Giannis is. He's a scorer too. Yeah. He had 29, 14, and 6, but 8 for 20. And then I didn't see him touch the ball in the last like 3 minutes of the game because
he didn't.
When you need threes, I mean you can't like give it to him.
He was 1 for 6 from downtown today. That's always everyone says about him is like, oh, this jump shot's the next step, but he hasn't really improved on it. Like he's gotten more confident in it, and it definitely looks smoother, but the percentages have not lined up with that improvement.
But I mean, I just think when you look at closing out game, Chris Middleton closed out the Hawks series. Chris Middleton closed out a lot of the Suns games too. Like it's just tough with him in the clutch, I think, because
100%. Like I think when you're talking about best player in the league, they also have to be clutch. And like Giannis has been like in game 6, that was 100% clutch. And I think he's had game winners before. He's been clutch before, but I think with the way that this roster is built, they have definitely catered it more towards Chris Middleton being the guy who takes the last shot. So yeah, I think you're spot on with that. Like you can't be like rushing to get the ball out of your best player's hands.
Yeah, I know.
In the last couple of possessions. So, I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, I mean, that's still like crazy. I mean, both Jokic and Giannis didn't have like great games tonight.
I know, that's what
Jokic had 18. He had a triple double, and he had like the game-winning defensive stop. And
like I feel so bad like saying this stuff about like Giannis and Ja and like DeRozan and stuff, but it's like these players are so amazing with these numbers that they put up and everything. It's
they definitely have their flaws. It's tough to look past some of them too. Like when they're so big, like Giannis's are. In situations like in close games, if he's on in a close game, like if you look at the highlights of Game 6 against Phoenix, like I mean, he was pulling up from mid range, he was hitting it, he was hitting turnaround jumpers. Like when he's doing that, it's unstoppable. It's completely unguardable.
It's just so rare.
It doesn't happen often. Yeah,
those games just don't really happen. I mean,
and especially when you have teams that have size. Like he never really plays well against Denver, and it's because we have a guy like Jokic in there. And when you go to the bench, obviously Boogie's there. But like when you have guys who are strong and big to body him up,
Drummond.
Those are teams that he struggles against.
Ooh. Heat beat the Spurs. Oh wow, Keita Bates-Diop, Nuggets legend, went 9 for 10, 3 for 3 from 3. He's starting now, I guess.
Oh, because DeJounte Murray didn't play.
Oh, Murray's out. Okay.
Yeah.
Jock Landale, 14 points.
Jeez. Jock Landale's not bad.
Yeah.
1 for 6 from 3. He can't shoot. Those are the only shots he missed, but like he's pretty good. At least from what I've seen, he's not horrible.
Oh yeah, Bam had a pretty good or a crazy. I don't know why I said pretty. A crazy good game. 36, 7 and 4.
Man, Jimmy Butler.
Tyler Hero off the bench is so good, dude.
Yeah, he's. I'm like, there's nobody even close in 6 man of the year.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Like,
what are you gonna say about Jimmy?
Jimmy, like, people don't talk about him when it comes to like foul drawing, but he might be.
I knew you were going there
because like
I saw the 15 free throws. I'm like, I know where you're going.
I mean, even when like you look at the finals run that they had, I mean, he was getting to the line like 14 times a game. He gets there so much, and he isn't. When he draws fouls, it's not like he's flopping. He doesn't do anything like unorganic. Like his is like legit. pump fake, like a slight lean in, but I mean, you can't like draw fouls
It's
without leaning a little bit.
yeah.
But like,
Him and
it's nothing
DeRozan are really
crazy.
similar
Yeah, it's
in
nothing
that
like
way.
crazy where they're like, how Chris Paul does the rip through all the time, or
Yeah.
like he leans in a bunch, or he just falls down with no contact. Like he seeks out the contact to draw fouls, which is something that I respect about him. But he's one of the guys like he doesn't get talked about it in terms of foul drawing, but he's up there with um, like Harden and Lillard and guys who get a lot of calls.
Yeah.
Get a lot of free throws.
Him and DeRozan are definitely underrated in that
for
foul
sure.
drawing way.
For sure.
What else happened? Cavs won, Hawks won. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, Hawks won. That's actually a big win for them. That's Toronto. Oh, Trae Young 41. Yeah, I saw a stat.
Damn.
It looks like it definitely looks like Toronto cooled off, but like halfway through the second quarter, I saw a stat and it said that Toronto at that point was shooting 55% from three against the Hawks on the season. They play each other 4 times. I'm like, that is that is disgusting.
Yeah. I would be mad if I was a Hawks fan.
That would be unwatchable.
Trae Young, dude, plus 37. Damn. 17 for 24. I would say, I think, like, if we're, like, ranking point guards, I would say he's second. Based on my opinion, behind Steph. Yeah.
It after Steph, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's so many guys who are coming up, like I think second has to be Jar or Trae. I'm trying to think of other.
I mean, like you could have an argument for CP3, for sure.
You could, yeah.
Considering like the Suns just got blown out by the Pelicans.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I need to see DeAndre Ayton's stat line.
Dude, Siakam's been playing really rough.
After the All-Star break,
past 3. Let me see.
He had an insane stretch.
Ever since the Nuggets game, past 4 games, the Pelicans game, he was 7 for 19. Timberwolves game, 7 for 17. Hornets game, 3 for 13. And then today, 6 for 16.
Eesh.
But, dude, yeah, that stretch, concluding with the Nuggets game,
it was insane.
A lot of the games before that, yeah. That 8-game win streak they had.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was having he is. I mean, it's only a 2 or 3 game stretch. So he's been kind of rough, but he's having a really, really solid season.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something about. Oh yeah, I want to see DeAndre Ayton's stat line.
I think he actually had he had 20, I think, or something.
Yeah, he had 20 points, 5 rebounds, 9 of 12, 1 of 1 from 3. If he can start shooting jumpers, I mean, right now he's just so paint based. If he can start getting a jump shot and start to self-create a little more, then I'll be a believer. But right now, I mean, I think that you could do what he's doing with any, above average center.
Right. Yeah, he I think he has developed. I see him hit a couple turnaround.
He has a good mid range. He just doesn't use it.
Yeah,
he doesn't
exactly.
use it a lot, it's so odd. It's very, very odd. Okay. He had 20. I didn't watch the game. I don't know how much of that was self-created.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't watch.
I mean, it's got to be a lot because they didn't have many assists.
Yeah. What did they played Thursday as well? He didn't. I know he didn't have a good game against it. He had 6 points, 8 rebounds.
Yeah.
But they did have a lot of assists that game. Devin Booker had 12. That's weird. That's going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. I think both of us are going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
We need to talk about that. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't really have anything else.
I don't either. Suns Jazz tomorrow. That should be good.
Oh, that's going to be really interesting. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to do stream tomorrow. I'm not sure if I will have time. So I think we'll just have to do it after Tuesday's game. Or no, they don't even play Tuesday. They play Wednesday. Yeah, we might just have to wait until Wednesday to do another one. We'll see. I'll keep you all updated on that, but this might be the last until Wednesday. So, yeah. Thanks so much for watching. keep running these live streams up. You guys, there's not a lot of viewers on the lives now, but like
It's
post
like
live stream,
after. Yeah.
I know the Raptors live stream we talked about it got like 100 views, so that was nice. Yeah,
Interesting.
so
Mm-hmm.
keep getting that on these because that was fun to see. So yeah, you got anything else?
That's it. I think
All right,
be a Wednesday probably.
thanks for watching.